It is March 27th of 2024, and welcome to a daily edition of Litter Media Live. With Mike Smith, the icon, I'm Dan Ramey, the not con, and we have Aaron Glandon off to our left.
Yep.
Did you say not con or nut con?
Not con.
Not con.
Yes.
Not
yes.
gonna do it. Yep.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Coming up in just a moment, we'll get you caught up to date on what's happening with news, weather. We've got sports and this date in history. We do have an issue with our website today, and that is being worked on even as we speak. Not by you or me, somebody else that's got more brain power and intellect. They're working on it for us here today. So if you've tried to click on some things on our website and it's not worked for you, it's also the same for us. So we are beholden to someone else to get that taken care of for us. So soon it should be back up and operational. Let's start with weather. Today we're looking at a bright sunshiny day outdoors. I like that. Temperatures in the 50s.
Pretty day. In fact, an instant repeat for tomorrow. Partly sunny today and tomorrow with a high of 56.
I'll take it.
Sunshine and 65 on Friday and a chance of rain on Saturday. We did have some rain in the overnight hours last night. Don't know when it stopped. The street was wet when I got up at about 3:30. So.
Well, and we had rain yesterday. When I got home, the rain gauge had about a half inch in it. Mm-hmm. And then I saw that it rained a little bit after I got home from church last night. But the rain gauge still had about a half inch of water in it. So we didn't get much. It probably just enough to kind of wet the ground again in that regard. I know with Saturday and Sunday we're expecting some rain. Is there any old wives' tale that talks about rain on Easter Sunday?
There could be, but I'm not aware of it.
If there is, I've forgotten it, or I never knew it in the first place.
I know that if you have pear trees, this is the time of year where they are shedding all those little white petals everywhere. Yeah. I think you might remember we did a story on pear trees last year that they have now been categorized in Ohio and some other states as it's almost like a tree that if you were buying it today, you can't buy it in Ohio. Mm-hmm. They don't make you take down what you have, but you can't plant anymore. Right. Because they're quote unquote a trashy tree because of what I'm just talking about. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, do you have any insight from your Ross County?
I don't.
You don't have any?
No.
You know what a pear tree looks like?
I don't think I could tell you.
It's got white things all over it.
Would you know what a partridge in a pear tree looks like?
Yeah.
So you could tell him about a partridge.
He just knows about those fruit-bearing trees that he can pluck apples and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Appleseed.
I heard something today. You can't judge an apple in spring. Wait till October. Talking about the maturity, I guess, of fruit inspection.
Gotcha.
All right, coming up in a moment, we'll get you caught up to date on what's making news for us today. But first, let's tell you about our friends at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor for nearly 5 decades. You've got an issue with heating, cooling, or plumbing in your home or your business. Maybe you're building a new business, a new home. You need to contact Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Click on this ad that you're seeing here, anywhere you see it on our website. Now, I can tell you that it will take you today to AccurateHVAC.com. That's about the only thing that's working on our website today is our advertising. Yeah. So please support our advertisers like Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. News is next. Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good. Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Haynes Total Health Care Center is available to help you with your chiropractic needs, physical therapy needs, nutritional needs, and more. If you want to find out what they do, all you have to do is click on this ad anywhere you see it at lettermedia.com. It takes you to their website, or you can go directly to hayneshealth.com to learn more, celebrating 50 years for Haynes Total Health Care Center. Making news for us today, we begin with what?
Some history. The Ross County Historical Society yesterday afternoon was recalling the remarkable accomplishments of a Chillicothe native who went on to lead groundbreaking civil rights efforts in the South. Ohio Civil Rights Hall of Famer Dr. Joseph Carter Corbin was born in Chillicothe. Yesterday was the celebration of his birthday. From 1833 to two formerly enslaved people, William and Susan Corbin. He was educated in Chillicothe schools and later became a worker in the Underground Railroad in Kentucky, and after the Civil War became an educator in Arkansas, where in 1875 he secured funding from the legislature for a branch normal college now known as the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. For a time, he served in public schools. Then a few years later, the governor of Arkansas asked him to return to Pine Bluff, as nothing had ever been done to further the new college. He served as the college's president for a quarter of a century. He's known as the father of higher education for African Americans in Arkansas. And that monument, or that placard that you see on the right, is up by Ohio University Chillicothe. Now, I think it was posted in 2016, but I've never noticed it before.
Yeah, I've not noticed it before.
I think it's up by the Shoemaker Center parking lot, just across the street there from the Early Childhood Education Center. So you've probably passed it a number of times, but it's so neat to find out some of the groundbreaking history makers that started right here in Chillicothe.
Another tie-in, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong on this, but if I'm not mistaken, Napoleon Cross went to Arkansas Pine Bluff.
I believe that's right.
When he played basketball collegiately. And if I'm not mistaken, he went back to Arkansas, did some high school coaching, and took a team to the state championship. So, yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
So, great story. And as soon as our website's fixed, you'll be able to read more about it.
Well, a number of people did read it yesterday, and they were commenting on it.
Yes, they were. There is an immediate need for volunteers to assist the ranger staff at the Hopewell Visitors Center at the Hopewell Culture National Historical Park. The visitation is increasing, and they need dependable extra hands to help with outreach, working with the public, set up and tear down of programs, and roving at the site. Now, I can tell you that while they usually have increased traffic around the springtime, it's going to become yet even more heavy with the World Heritage inscription that we have now. Any interested volunteers, contact Susan Nicely at Hopewell NHP. She can get that taken care of for you.
Check out the April trolley schedule in downtown Chillicothe. Now, this schedule, of course, usually goes Fridays from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. On occasion, during special holidays and so forth, they'll run it on Sundays, but mostly a Friday-Saturday route.
Last summer, we were up in the Circleville area for the ribbon cutting of the Canal Park and the new playground area that they have there. And unfortunately, it's back in the news again today due to some vandalism that has taken place. The zip lines have been closed down at the Pickaway County Park District's Canal Park. Not sure what happened, but we can tell you that if you keep checking their website, you'll be able to find out when they're back up and running. And the zip lines are really cool there. We did a video from the ribbon cutting with some kids on those zip lines. Wish we had security cameras to catch those who vandalized those. So taking the fun out of the fun of the park.
Right.
So there's always those evildoers.
Yeah. Please, folks, if you see that kind of activity going on, report it.
Something, yeah.
It's messing up stuff that's meant for the kids, especially there at Canal Park. Speaking of the kids, Fayette County youth will have the opportunity to join with Washington Courthouse firefighters for a little bit of fishing on April the 27th from 9 a.m. to noon. They will be at the ponds behind the splash pad in Iman Park in Washington Courthouse. Now, children must be accompanied by adults. Of course, we see similar activities like this in Yaktangi Park in Chillicothe, but this one is over in Washington Courthouse.
You can call now to register for the Pike County Cleanup Event, which will be conducted over several dates for the various townships and villages. For more details, just contact the Pike County Solid Waste Management District. Here's their number, 947-4104. Of course, that's 740 area code. Or the Pike Soil and Water Conservation District Office at 740-947-5353. To help in the cleanup, you can participate as an individual or a group, but you must register by April 12th.
In state news, which involves a lot of people in our part of the state liking to go to fish at Lake Erie. Lake Erie anglers can expect this coming fishing season to again offer world-renowned opportunities, that according to the Division of Wildlife. Following years of strong walleye hatches, Lake Erie continues to affirm that it's the walleye capital of the world. Additionally, a stable yellow perch population in Lake Erie's west zone will provide good fishing, while low catch rates are expected to continue in the central and east zones.
We visited yesterday in a special edition of Litter Media Live with Funny Cow, Lori Graves, and we talked about the shows coming up at the Majestic Theater. Of course, I talked about seeing Brass Metropolis over the weekend. That's one of the tribute bands. There are many more coming, and she explains how all this happened. But we've got some shows that are lined up that are tribute-related bands, much like this, and not only bands, but acts. You already had Conway and Loretta.
Yes, we had Twitty and Lynn. And thank you for the gentleman who thought we had the real Conway there. That was, we're good at the Majestic, but we're not quite that good.
It is haunted, and
yes.
maybe Conway was there in some fashion.
That was a great show, though. Those are the grandchildren of the two of them, and they were just really pleasant to work with. They were fun. But because of that show being sold out, that is one of the reasons why the Majestic has been so popular now with bookers, because other people heard they sold out. So we're getting hit with people, hey, can we do a show there? So it's great. I mean, we're getting all of these acts, all these tribute bands that we're getting, and it's a good time to be at the Majestic. We're really crushing it in April. We have 5 shows.
And looking forward to those shows. Among them, the tribute to Elton John and Billy Joel, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, the Eagles. One show is almost sold out. That is towards the end of the month. Out of Eden is the name of the group. So they've added a second date. So Friday and Saturday towards the end of the month, you have an opportunity to go check that out. Of course, McGuffey Lane is coming back again. That's on Saturday the 13th, I believe, if I remember right. So,
good to see the old house getting used.
Yes. And the old house is very comfortable to sit in right now. They've got air conditioning and heating. Yeah. I remember watching during one of the anniversaries of the Beatles' return to America, or coming to America, they had the Beatles tribute band there, and that's probably been, 6 years ago. And it was in the middle of February, and it was cold. It was cold, but not the case now. And I've been there during the summertime when it's been just sweltering hot.
Right.
So all that's climate controlled, thanks to our friends at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
We salute you. Our road report today takes us over to neighboring Vinton County. Now through April the 12th, multiple culverts are being replaced on State Route 278 between Irish Road and 2 Mile Road. The road will be closed where work is taking place at 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. each weekday.
And you've got all that information on our website.
When you can get to it.
Once you can access it.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool if they got on the ball and they were fixing it during the program.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be fantastic.
That'd be sweet.
Yes. Sports is coming up here in just a moment. And this date in history. Details coming up shortly. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. If you've got a cleanup job needs to be done, they can do that. They also do demo work. So if you got a building you want taken down, they can do that for you too. But if you're doing something like renovations in your home or in your business, get a dumpster from Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389 to call for Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
Kingston National Bank was founded in 1909 by local businessmen. The concept of a local bank supporting our community's financial needs with local decisions made sense. This is Phil Evans, President and CEO of Kingston National Bank. I invite you to make KNB your bank. We continue to make local decisions that benefit our communities. Experience innovative products and excellent customer service. When you need us most, you can count on KNB. Our community, your bank. Kingston National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Today is open interview day at McDonald's in Circleville, in Chillicothe, Greenfield, and Waverly. I ran into Damon Campbell the other day, and everything's going well. He was back and forth, and he says, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I meant to come and get breakfast earlier in the day, but by the time breakfast was for me, it was noontime, so I was getting lunch, which was actually breakfast." And if you would like to participate as an employee, a member of the McCrew, make sure you stop in from 2 till 5 today at any one of those 7 area locations for McDonald's. And you see there it is right there, McDonald's Golden Arches. McDonald's.
I'm loving it.
Sports now.
Yeah, not a whole lot of high school baseball and softball last night because of the rain, but a few games did get in. Waverly beat Huntington in baseball 5-2. This one was the story of the night. Circleville trailing 2-0 to Hillsborough, but they scored all 9 of their runs in the 6th inning for a 9-2 win. Fairfield over Peebles. Jackson played 2 games. They beat Strasburg Franklin 10-3, but lost to Pick North 10-9. Softball, Dana ran their record to 4-0 with a win over McLean. Huntington beat Green. Fairfield over Peebles. This game, Talmadge and Jackson softball, that was being played at Myrtle Beach.
Really?
Jackson's down there for the week. And Kenton Ridge out of Springfield beat Sheridan by a score of 3-2. Now, since our website is down at the time, I put on the local or our area athletes that made the All-Ohio boys basketball teams for Division III and IV on both our Litter Facebook and Twitter sites, or X. As you can see from our area, the Ohio Prep Sports Writers in Division III, second team, Branson Copus of North Adams, DeAndre Berry of Portsmouth, third team, Jace Copley of Lucasville Valley, and Miles Montgomery of Minford. For Division IV, we saw this fellow down at Waverly in a broadcast this year, Eli Roberts of South Webster, the big 6'7" kid. He's a first teamer. Tariq Cottrell of Federal Hocking, second team. Andrew Earhart of Fed Hoc and Tyler Summer of South Webster were third team. And our buddy Norm Person of South Webster is the Division IV State Coach of the Year. Congratulations to Storm and Norman on that big honor.
He's not been storming here of late.
Yeah.
He's up in age, but he's been battling some health issues, but great to see him this year going through. Ohio State came not close to beating Georgia last night. They were down by, 16, something like that. Then they went on a 17-0 run. They had a 5 or 6 point lead close to the end of regulation, but here came the Bulldogs and an opportunity with less than 2 seconds remaining. Turnaround jumper by Battle did not go in, and that spelled doom for the season. Season is done now for the basketball Buckeyes, but what a recovery that they made during the second half of the season. And the Columbus Blue Jackets dropped a match to Arizona last night, 6-2 the final. They will have 10 games remaining now on this young season, which isn't so young anymore.
Yeah, everybody's begging 10, get by quick. This was a late-breaking story that came across the Reds' X page just about 45 minutes ago. Reds infielder Matt McLean had his shoulder surgery earlier today As you can see there, they successfully repaired cartilage damage and repaired to his labrum in his shoulder, left shoulder. But they say an exact timeline to his return is still unknown. They hope to have him back sometime this season. So obviously for opening day tomorrow, Matt will not be around.
Yeah. He'll be watching like the rest of us, checking it out.
Probably for a few months.
Yeah. And TJ Friedel, from what we understand, David Bell says that he may be back within 6 weeks. So that's some good news, too, from those injuries they had during the spring training session. Washington Nationals tomorrow?
Yes, about 4:10, I believe it is.
And then they have Friday off and come back Saturday, right?
Yeah, and the Guardians of Cleveland tomorrow night are out on the West Coast against Oakland.
All right. Baseball.
It's back.
All right, coming up in a moment, this state in history. Let's dial up that Litter Media Wayback Machine for
Speaking Sports from 1939.
Okay, details are next.
Litter Quality Propane. There's no bill when there's a fill. Contact Litter Quality Propane today about our metered gas service at litterpropane.com.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit dixiechopper.com.
Visit ChillicotheOhio.com is where you can go for the Ross Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau. This date in history, 1939, deals with basketball.
Yeah, you were just saying a moment ago that of course, with the loss in the NIT last night, it ended the Buckeye season. Well, on this date in 1939, the Ohio State University men's basketball team also saw their season come to an end, but it just happened to be in the NCAA National Championship game against the University of Oregon, 46-33. That's Oregon on the top, the Buckeyes down on the bottom. And that fellow over on the right, his name is Jimmy Hall from Greenfield, Ohio. He's a McLean graduate. He went on to become an All-American at The Ohio State University, had a successful dental practice for many years, not only in Columbus, where he taught at Ohio State, but he also would come to Chillicothe, Ohio once a week to take care of kids like me who needed to have their teeth straightened a little bit. Jimmy Hall, member of that 1939 national runner-up team.
So here he was doing work in Chillicothe from Greenfield. Wonder if he stopped at any point in time in Bainbridge for the dental museum to see that.
Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised. But Dr. Hall, he was a delight. If you remember on Dave Logan's Buyers Bandwagon remote that he did every Saturday morning from Buyers dealership, during football season, Dr. Jimmy Hall always made an appearance on the telephone to give his prediction on what he thought the Ohio State football team would do that day. And you know what? I don't remember him ever being wrong. But then I don't think he picked against the Buckeyes that many times. That was a safe bet then.
Being a dentist, I wonder if he walked around and looked at all the football players' teeth like the vets do to horses.
He probably did.
Horse race.
Probably did too. But back then in 1939, this was one that kind of caught my attention. For the first 12 years of the NCAA men's basketball team or tournament, only 12 teams were invited.
Yeah.
Only 12. It expands to, of course, 65 in the year 2001.
I think on that team that you showed in the photos there, there is a player on that team that had the same name as a player who played at Peebles back in 1980. I don't know that they were related in any fashion, but I remember seeing this for the first time. So this was like 1985, I think it was when I saw it. And I'm like, darn, that's the same name as one of the kids that played at Peebles.
How about that?
And so, again, I don't know if they're related or not, but I just jogged back some memories of that undefeated Peebles team that, for whatever reason, played so fantastically during the regular season and then got bounced the first season out.
Yeah.
They were 20-0. Brett Justice and Brian Justice.
Yeah.
Many of you know Brian Justice is the superintendent of Southeastern local schools. This was one of his teammates I'm talking about. I just can't remember his name right now. It escapes my brain.
Yeah, Dr. Hall was just a great fella. Of course, I was telling him at that time, because when I went to him, actually, Laura and I were married.
Oh, really?
And I had my bite. It was the upper teeth came down so far they actually were touching the gums on my lower. So what he did, he developed. It wasn't like full braces. He developed this plate that I would wear at night, and doggone, it worked.
You knew what he was talking about.
It allowed the teeth to grow, and and I think Laura had pretty much the same thing, but. People would tell me before that had him when they were teenagers, they said, oh, he's mean. Well, I said, well, what's he mean about it? He said, well, every time I don't do something right, well, you weren't following the doctor's orders. So, but I thought Dr. Hall was just tremendous.
Which means I'm wasting my time on you.
And your parents' money. Yeah.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
So funny how we have different perspectives on things as we get older. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it for the program today. We have an assignment we'll be doing today for something completely unrelated, but back at it again with another special edition tomorrow.
Our good friend Bob Neal, the real Bob Neal, in at 10 a.m. Ross Soil and Water Conservation District talking about fish sales and some other things as well.
Okay, looking forward to that. Plus, whenever Bob's in, we catch up with old radio stuff. So maybe we'll have an old radio segment with him.
That'd be great.
All right. So for Aaron Glandon and for the icon Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey. Enjoy the rest of your day. And again, please, patience with our website. It's being worked on. That's it for the program. Thank you for watching, and thanks for listening also on Litter Media Radio.